Welcome to Podtendo, a Nintendo podcast, where they analyze, reminisce, and replay the glory of old Nintendo games.
Get this! At school I found this magic lamp, and I wished for Disney's Aladdin for my Sega Genesis. It's like the movie! I got to battle sword-slashing thieves, and nasty palace guards, and ride a flying carpet. And I still have 2 more wishes. Prove it!
Sega Genesis and Disney's Aladdin game cartridge, each sold separately.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Podtendo podcast, and it is the dog days of summer. Oh boy, did you spend all weekend standing at deck? I did. So that's where I'm at. And at the end of the weekend, so, I got tons of energy. This is Podtendo, your review pop culture let's play show. I think I'm supposed to say more stuff off the top, aren't I?
Retrospective or something, or other.
Welcome to the Podtendo podcast, where we analyze, reminisce, and replay the glory of old Nintendo games. All right, look at that. We're here for numbered shows. That means we're playing a game, not just one game, but 3 games today. Oh boy, that's exciting. Or is it? We're playing the Disney, I called it the Disney Super Nintendo Trio, so we'll get into that. So those 3 games we'll be looking at. I'm your host, Mick, and I'm joined every episode by my lovely and talented co-host,
Tyson.
Cool. So that's it.
Yeah. Excited for these games. It's like trying to jam in Saturday morning, afternoon into one show. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. I know it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. We'll say that.
Ups and downs. We'll have ups and downs today. So 3 games so specifically. There is a re-release on the Switch. I'm guessing like the new next-gen consoles. I don't know if Xbox has it, but I think on the PS4 you can also find one of these bad boys. And those 3 games are Aladdin, Jungle Book, and Disney's Lion King. So we'll kind of break those down individually. I think the way to do this, I don't know if there's a best way. We're going to talk about the game. I guess if you have anything to say it then, and then we'll jump into the next game kind of quickly, and we'll do another game quickly, and then at the end we'll kind of have a wrap up and come together and see how that goes. So good times. Some of these games probably needed to be played. Some of them, not so much. So this first game we're going to start with, Aladdin. Good times. Developed by Capcom. That's a good sign, people. When you see a name of a game developer that you recognize, you're like, maybe this game is okay. It sold 1.75 million copies, which ranks 27th all-time of Super Nintendo games. That's pretty impressive. Release date was November 21st, 1993. How Long to Beat has this game at 1 hour and 50 minutes. Price at release was $59.99. eBay, you can get a copy of this game for about $30 to $80. And on eShop, you can get a copy, I guess, not of Aladdin, but kind of Aladdin in this like collector's pack for either $80 or $25 on sale. You can play this game on an original cart for the Super Nintendo Genesis or in the Disney SNES collection. Is that what it's officially called? Because that's what I've been calling it.
I don't remember, to be honest, because it does just like, I know the picture, and it is on Xbox.
Disney Classic Games, Aladdin
there
and Lion King.
They also, like, it's interesting because some of the Genesis and Super Nintendo versions are kind of like swapped for each other, and other times it's not. So that's kind of interesting the way they did it that way.
Yeah, because I'm looking at this game right now just on Nintendo.com, so you'd think that's like relevant. And the third picture in is this time where Aladdin is in this desert, and he has a sword, and he's like collecting points. I don't think this is the right game. You don't go in the desert and there's like a dinosaur skeleton, and you definitely don't fight a skeleton in a cave. And is that like the Sega? And they're like showing me the wrong graphics?
Yeah. Well, there's multiple versions of each game, so okay. I wonder if this is like instead of the
But that's like the promotion on Nintendo.com. When I'm trying to buy this game, the preview pictures are showing me aren't from this game. All right, cool. We are, like I said off the top, a review pop culture let's play something show. I don't know what the other
pop culture retrospective.
Maybe retrospective I missed. Anyways, so pop culture. Normally, a regular show, we go back in time. We like to look at what did the world look like specifically when this game came out. We're going to do a bridge. So rather than doing this 3 times, let's just make it fast and dirty today. So Wayback Machine, November 21st, 1993. Top movies released in November were The Three Musketeers, Adam's Family Values, Mrs. Doubtfire, and We're Back, A Dinosaur Story. And the top video games that came out this month were Sam and Max Hit the Road Again, and Mega Man X is next month. So that's a pretty good Wayback Machine. This one, it's not terrible.
Not bad, actually. I have a soft spot for this cheesy Three Musketeers movie. We're Back. Makes me want to eat that cereal, find it wherever it is, and eat piles of it, and enjoy some hot dogs. Yeah, and Mrs. Doubtfire is a classic. Adam's Family Values is pretty solid. Mega Man X, right around the corner. Come on, like
it's good. It's a good time to be alive.
Shabby. Yeah, also, I did figure out the question. So what was going on? So there's the Sega version and there's the Super Nintendo version on this. So there's like, in each game there's like multiple versions that you can select, and there's like a Final Cut version, which is actually the Sega Mega Drive. There's just a plain Aladdin one. There's another, like, I guess there is a Game Boy one, they say, which is like, I didn't see the Game Boy one at all.
I feel like I didn't have these options. I just had like 3 games to choose from off the menu.
Yeah, and then when you got to that thing, there's arrows that point you left and right. There's like a Final Cut version, and then this version, and then So,
so there's a lot of content in this game that I did not play. All right, well, I played the vanilla SNES version. Oops.
Yes. Which is probably the right way to do it on a Nintendo podcast. But for you Sega fans out there, you're getting some love, and there's also some Game Boy games smashed in there. So
cool. Sweet.
Quite the value.
All right. So with Aladdin, development details of this fun game. In the United Kingdom, Aladdin was the top-selling SNES game in December of 1993. Wow. Electronic Gaming Monthly, 4 reviewers scored the Super NES version 8, 8, 9, and 8 out of 10. Adding up to a 33 out of 40, average of 8.25. They commented that the graphics, animation, music, and gameplay are all outstanding. A Screw Attack reviewer also gave the game a positive review, saying it was one of the best Super Nintendo games. Aladdin proved to be a commercial success, selling approximately 1.8, well, it's actually 1.75 copies worldwide, but who am I to argue with Wikipedia? Becoming Capcom's highest-selling game for the Super Nintendo after Street Fighter II and its various versions. Oh, cool. And then the Game Boy Advanced port received mixed reviews. Avi Fryman of GameSpy called the port of Disney's Aladdin the most monumentally disappointing of all the ports from SNES to Game Boy Advanced. Huh, cool.
Well, that's fascinating. Yeah, it's pretty impressive that this is one of the like highest selling Capcom games for the Super Nintendo, and it still reaches a pretty penny on the aftermarket. When I feel like I can grab a Street Fighter 2 game for cheaper, like way cheaper than that. So maybe it's just there's
could be sales though, like 1.7 or 1.8 million versus how many like Street Fighters are there?
Yeah, I don't know.
20 million?
Or even if there's like 4 million, it's like that's way more. So,
so
I get it. But still, it's like pretty cool to think this game is on the top of that list.
This game being Aladdin almost deserved this whole episode. I think this was, if we're going to rank the games, I'll spoil it right now. Aladdin's the best game. These other 2 games, aren't as good.
Yes.
They have flaws.
Agreed.
Starting with Aladdin when I was playing this was probably a mistake because it was all downhill. So this is actually a good game. We could have given Aladdin its own runway. Unfortunately, it's just got a lot of baggage here afterwards. So we'll do our best to talk positively about Aladdin and then, I don't know, see what happens. So controls. You move around with the directional pad. A jumps. B throws apples. You can jump over obstacles, but some obstacles and enemies propel you forward when you jump on them, creating a very satisfying kinetic movement. As well as, I believe, if in the first level you can find a sail that helps you float, and apparently that makes the game really easy. I did not do that. First memories of the game. This is the first time I've ever played this game. You?
I remember playing this game once before, but never like getting past the first level or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty fun though. Like I think, as for I played this one last. I knew that this one was kind of going to be the best. Especially considering the Jungle Books. Yeah, spoiler. That one might be the least good. Yeah, but this one was fun. No first real memories. I seem to remember like the box art or the cartridge art more than I remember the game. So.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I feel like I've seen it, but I've never played it. So, the story of this game. Jafar wants a magic lamp, but needs Aladdin's help. There you go. So, level notes. Level 1, one step. The streets of Agrabah. Just like the movie, you start on the streets avoiding guards. You have to face a boss to save Jasmine before heading to the rooftops and before getting captured. Cool. It's a pretty fine intro level. You can find a sail, which helps you float. I'm now bitter that I didn't get it, so yeah, I'm kind of bitter the rest of the time I'm talking about this game, but that's my fault. I did like that we get to see the first boss here. Can't wait for the rest of the thrilling bosses in this game. Oh boy, first one out of the gate. Imagine all the bosses will be good.
Yeah. Well, it's for an intro level. It's kind of it's nice. I found the sale, so I had a fine experience.
Good. Excellent. Let's keep bragging about how nice your life is. I did one thing I wanted to note is I mentioned how it has very kinetic movement, and that was the one big takeaway from this first opening level is they have such great placement of guards and pots that you can kind of, once you start jumping on an enemy, it's almost like you can just kind of trapeze your way over large sections of the level. It's super satisfying. The feedback and the gameplay is very, very rewarding, especially just in this first level, that I could see, and I understand why this is such a favorite, like why it stands out, because it did, like, parts of it felt like I was like, oh, this is just Mega Man with better agility, right, playing through some of these levels, and I was like, this is gonna be okay, and I wasn't wrong. So yeah, it's solid.
Yeah, I mean, Capcom can do no wrong at this point. They're kind of firing all cylinders, and that just shows that like Mega Man X is right around the corner, and you're like, that explains why this
next
game
month, like within weeks of each other, you could walk away from this Christmas with like brand new Aladdin and Mega Man X. You'd be doing all right for yourself. Level 2, though, is the Cave of Wonders. You explore through a darkly lit cave. There's some platforms, floating on lava, and jumping off boulders before finding the treasure at the end of the cave. Watching people play this game with the sale upsets me. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I'm bitter. So nice, perfect.
It's keeps coming up. Man, I just can't believe you just didn't find it. Like you must have had a horrible time. To know that this one is your favorite out of it, it's like, wow, you must have really had a bad time with the other ones.
Save states. I definitely abused the balls off of save states on this one, so like that kind of alleviates. Yeah. But there was definitely times I'm like, man, how would you do this jump? Like it was like pit. Like I was like making a jump, saving, and I was like, oh, this is tough. But yeah. I can't imagine if I would have played this, I'd have such a better experience. That's phenomenal. Level 3 is Escape from the Cave of Wonders. So you must ride a flying carpet away from a river of molten lava while avoiding falling rocks, rising ground, and the lava itself. It's an awesome level. The save states do take away the sense of dread I think you would kind of normally cause, but these first 3 levels of this game are just absolutely top-notch. It's the experience of watching the movie on my Super Nintendo. And I get to play as Aladdin. Like, I get to be the avatar. I get to be the protagonist. Done expertly well. It's fun. Tough.
Yeah, and
tough, but...
Yes, very tough. It's weird. Like, we don't see this very often, I feel like, in modern games, where they just kind of go from platforming to just... what the heck would you call this? Like
a tonal shift?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a rail. I don't know. An escape? A rail...
Yeah, probably a rail section or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty fun. And I mean, I love this aesthetic of like actually getting like chased away and the genie hands pointing you in the right direction. It's fun.
Oh, it's good. Speaking of the genie, so now that if you're familiar with the story, you have the magic lamp, you're stuck in this cave of wonders. Genie comes out and you trick him to get you out of the cave. But in this game, you have to go inside his lamp first. So just like in the movie, you're now trapped in this cave forever. You rub the magic lamp 3 times, and Genie invites you in the lamp to do some platforming challenges. They seem more manageable with the sail. There were some of them where you have to like bounce off these, and then swing off something, and then jump off something, and Genie kind of like materializes the next obstacle as you're going. And I was like, I don't have enough time. There was a couple times I just died because I was like, I'm faster than the genie, so I have to like somehow slow down. Oh,
Yeah,
the sail.
yeah.
The sail's the answer. But also, why are we inside the genie lamp?
Content.
Okay.
And I noticed that in The Lion King, where I'm like, oh wow, they're taking like 30-second long scenes, and they're like, that's a level. That's a level for sure.
That's a level.
Yeah. So, and I get it. Like, you have to add kind of gameplay to a very narrative part of the story. But it is kind of silly that they don't just give you the sail off the top, or it's not just something that you like. Why make it skippable if it's so essential for the rest of the game?
I have no idea. I could not tell you. But so for myself, not being like the Aladdin expert or anything, but couldn't you do a thing where there's like a parade and you have to like platform your way through your kind of parade of people up to the castle?
Yeah, that would work.
Right? Like that's an actual thing that happened in the movie. It's a song and you're like turning into the game as opposed to this random part. But I'm sure they'll never do it again. Just like level 5, the pyramid. Remember when Abu fell off the magic carpet and you have to find him in a pyramid? And there's a boss here, but it's just Abu under a mummy head.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, okay.
That's just filler for sure. I think they could have also added a stealth section where like he tries to go and like try to talk to Jasmine, so he's kind of like sneak into a spot so you can kind of see her or whatever. Like, I haven't seen the movie in forever, so I'm like kind of like, does that happen in that show? I don't know. I feel like he sneaks in at one point.
Yeah, like it was a flying carpet, so you can just fly up to the window. I think that happens, but I don't think they go in the pyramid. This is definitely a game that they had. Like, Mummy Man was definitely a Mega Man X boss that was scrapped, and like, what are we gonna do with this pyramid theme? Or like Aladdin? Like, I kind of feel like that's probably what happened. Level 6, however, we kind of get back on pace. We're on a magic carpet ride. It's a bonus level. You fly around, you listen to the chiptune version of the song. It's cute.
Yeah. It serves its purpose of a bonus level. So.
Yeah, it's done really well. Like I said, the first 3 fits the theme of the game. Number 6, we're back at it. All level 7, look at that. We're at Jafar's Palace. Okay, so you have to fight through Jafar's Palace. I should say something more descriptive here. It's like maybe darkly lit. You can jump on guys with swords. Feels kind of like a Mega Man level. Yeah, a lot of Mega Man going on in this Jafar's Palace. But again, we're back in pace. I think Jafar's might have a palace in Aladdin, so it's better. We're back. We're away from the imaginary levels.
Yeah. Well, we got to kind of get to the climax of the story here. I always liked Jafar's aesthetic. Like, he has that like that dark red and like black, and there's like they throw those colors everywhere, and I'm like, I like it. Very like ominous.
Yeah, it fits him very well.
Yeah. So I like the palace. Too many snakes.
Yeah, there was a lot.
After watching Indiana Jones, every time you're just like,
Why'd they have to be snakes? Level 8 is the final battle. So you fight Jafar by jumping on his magic rod until he becomes a snake. See, more snakes. Then you jump on his head and avoid his snake eggs. I guess that's what he throws at you, his snake egg?
Yes. Well, unless you play the Sega Genesis one, and then he shoots fire at you.
Cool. I didn't play that one.
Yeah.
I didn't play that one. So, however, though, the ending is you save the princess, and the Sultan lets Jasmine marry you. I didn't know that was a plot point in the movie, but they went into a lot of detail in the game about that specific rule. So, I thought it was kind of bring up. But there we go. That's our best game. Pretty solid top to bottom. The bosses left something to the imagination. Overall, pretty solid platformer. If this was a childhood favorite and you return to it, or you're looking at getting to retro games, like what's a good one? Aladdin's not a terrible game to waste an afternoon playing. So
yeah, or if you're like browsing eBay lots and this is one of the games tucked in there, you're going to get a solid game. Or if you got this on like a Christmas as a kid, you would not be bummed out. I think you would have a pretty solid time. Good music, solid controls, good atmosphere. I mean, it's Aladdin. I don't know much more you do with Aladdin.
No, yeah, it works. I think for what it was, like, I'm surprised there wasn't more sequels based on the other movies or the TV series or something, right? Yeah. Because they had such a successful property and a formula here, right? So the fact we only had the one,
and considering it's an adaptation, it's like, it's not bad.
No, your assets already created. Like, they could have made more. I think you could have made more based on that first game. I'm like, sold. Awesome. Good job, Capcom.
Especially with the second one and the second movie, and I think there's a third movie and there's a TV show. It's like,
that's what I mean.
It was begging for a sequel.
Yeah. Oh well, I imagine someone else worked on something else. So our next game. I should have went back and listened to how did we do our last one. So we did like a Disney Afternoon collection. We played. I forget how that worked. I don't know if that flowed well. I don't know if any of these like multiple game shows flow well. But we're gonna make an awkward segue, just like this. The next game we're looking at is The Jungle Book, developed by Eurocom Entertainment Software. Well, that doesn't. I never heard of them before.
Who brought you such classics as
Eurocom. What is it? Entertainment Software?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that before.
They've done Golden Nightfire and GeForce.
Earthworm Jim. Okay. They got
James Bond Jr. We actually that's the NES one, not the Game Boy one.
Hercules on the PS1. Duke Nukem 64.
Street Fighter Turbo on the DOS.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Second edition on the Game Boy Color.
Mortal Kombat 3 on the Saturn.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Chaos Bleeds for the Xbox, GameCube, and PS2.
Duke Nukem for the 64. And Zero Hour.
Oh, they got Quantum of Solace for the PS2. So they just did a lot of license. They're like, you guys are okay. So they do lots of licensed games apparently.
Oh no, here it is. This is the movie. It's the one you know from Rugrats. I Go Party.
Oh
for
yeah,
the Game Boy Advanced.
It's a good one.
The classic, So we're in for a treat.
Disney. All right, let's we'll keep up the next one here. Oh wait, no, I did something wrong. Anyways, so we're on to The Jungle Book. Sure won't be bad. Sales. There's no information available anywhere. All right, so it was released August 1994. How Long to Beat has this game at 3 hours. Price at release was $50. On eBay, you can get a copy of this game for about $16 to $60. So it dropped for some reason. eShop, just the same as Aladdin. $80 or $25 if you can find the kind of 3 games on sale, which is fun. Where to play? OG Kart, Disney SNES collection, Super Nintendo, original card on the Super Nintendo or Genesis. Yep, brain stroked out there. That's all good. All good. Any comments on this fun time or game, or me awkwardly stumbling through the
development notes? It's it is what it is. I think this one's not great in my opinion. It's pretty rough. The mechanics seem kind of like the controls are kind of floaty. You're kind of all over the place. The Mowgli's super susceptible to just dying constantly. Yeah.
Oh damn! I hate when he's just so susceptible of dying sometimes.
Well, It just feels like sometimes you take 2 hits of damage, and then there's other times where like a rock just falls on you and you're just instantly dead. There's like a lot of like 1-hit kills, I should say.
Yeah, this one
that awkward sentence that I said.
Yeah, sometimes you just awkwardly die. All right. Yeah, this one isn't as good. Is it the worst? Maybe this is the worst one. So let's see if we can get through it. Where to play this game? Nope, we already did it. Wayback Machine, August 1994. That very specific date that this came out, because people love this game so much they kept like to the minute of information. Top movies that came out in August of 1994. We have Clear and Present Danger, Little Rascals, Natural Born Killers, and Milk Money. Okay, all right. Interesting. Yeah. And then top video games released. I don't know if it was August. Yeah, I'd say August. Earthworm Jim. One of the games that they worked on. Oh, that's cool. King of Fighters 95. Earthbound. Cool. And Need for Speed.
Wow. That's two of the, like, I mean, Need for Speed's kind of like started a franchise. Yep. Earthworm Jim, has it's entertaining. It has, but it's kind of rough.
It's all right. Yeah.
Earthbound though, it's like, wow, this is
Yeah.
What a time to be alive. They're just kind of making this is what we call variety.
Movies kind of suck. Like if you want to watch Milk Money, you'd have to go home and play Earthbound because you'd just be so sad.
Sad. Or Little Rascals. I mean, this is it's just
let's
no one. Let's not think back to like the 30s, please.
Not what you want. Development details. Eurocom took over this project as they worked on several licensed games, including James Bond Jr. and Lethal Weapon. Other notable titles. Really? That's my development details? Huh.
We could just read the notes.
Okay. The game's Genesis version was finished by Eurocom in 1994. due to staff turnover. Okay. The levels were designed and put together using an application, the Universal Map Editor. Oh. The soundtrack features tunes from the Disney cartoon that it is based on, including The Bare Necessities, I Want to Be Like You, the monkey song, and Colonel Hathie's March, the elephant song. I guess there was one elephant in every level, but not a bunch.
Yeah, no.
Oh, wait, half of my Devon details are just what it was re-released on. Well, we don't need to read all those. Don't need to read those at all.
Just know it was re-released. This game's very available. I remember. Right, well, we get into first memories. What am I doing? Getting ahead of myself.
Same thing. Just trust the notes. That's all you have to do. We don't have to go and look up all the games because clearly I've already done that because our development details were sparse on this one. So
yes, you've already done our due diligence. It's kind of hilarious.
Aladdin could have been its own show, maybe like a really fast, like that would have been like a 45-minute show if we would have like given it like the full meat and potatoes on runway. And like this still might be a 45-minute show, and we have 2 other games because there's not a lot going on. Controls: you move around with the directional pad. A jumps. B throws apples. B always throws apples. That's weird. You can jump on objects, climb vibes, ride birds, and jump on some enemies, but not all enemies. But you got to figure it out, or else you'll die.
Yeah. Well, that even goes for Lion King. It's kind of. Why does it? Like Disney's just pro throwing apples. Like, that's the one thing you can throw in a Disney movie or cartoon or video game.
I feel like if you were, like, beat to death by, like, a kid with some apples, you'd be pretty pathetic, and you probably would, like, not even be mad. You'd be more impressed, so that's probably why they did it, yeah.
Well, it's also, I don't think apples can actually, like, break bones.
That's what I mean. Like, if you got pelted with apples, even by, like, 105-year-olds for, like, 2 hours, you'd probably be okay.
You'd smell a lot of applesauce. Yeah. But you'd be okay.
Apples don't bruise. We all know that. That's why I put apples in bags. Oh, no, it's oranges. I don't know why they... Anyways.
Valencia oranges, according to Family Guy.
Yeah. First memories. A friend of mine actually had this game on the Sega, so once in a while when I'd go to visit, we'd have little play dates. We would bust this one out. We'd play it for a bit. I think maybe we got to call once, maybe twice. But then usually our sessions are kind of like, I think I've had enough of this game. It seems like it's work, not fun. That was kind of my first memories of it, so... Yeah, good times. Do you have any first memories?
Nope, first time playing it, but I remember seeing the picture of this.
Oh yeah, okay.
The game like, so I don't know if somebody had it or if we have it, and I've just always just been like, hey, this game's in our collection. Just
not worth my time. Not today.
I've just blank spotted it on my brain, and I was like, I think I know I'm getting with this, and I can just skip it.
That's fair. All right, so the story. A young boy grows up in the jungles of India. A big bad tiger decides to kill the man cub, so now Mowgli must flee his jungle home and seek shelter with the only thing that tigers fear, man. Dun, 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 dun. Wow. All right, so level notes.
And fire.
Oh, and fire. Yeah. Well, who likes fire? Level notes. Level 1, jungle by day. You travel around the floor of a jungle. You fight snakes, monkeys while platforming and hanging on ropes. You want something more descriptive, something memorable that happens in this level? You came to the wrong podcast.
Yeah. It's kind of funny when you die. The 2 little monkeys, one with the siren on his head, and put you on a stretcher and wheel you away. That's funny the first couple times. And then after like the 12th, you're just like, I hate these monkeys.
Yeah. No.
I just wish the game would just restart so I could just not have to stare at this. A lot of kind of a safe spot to kind of get used to moving the platforms around, because you're gonna have to get used to moving lots of platforms.
Yeah, so many platforms. Unless you're in a great tree. That's level 2, great tree. You have to travel up a big tree. They're still fighting monkeys. There's bees and snakes. Wow.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to see because everything's super zoomed in.
Well, lots going on in the foreground, too, so sometimes just things are just covered by branches, and you're like, cool, great.
Yep. Or a platform you're supposed to get to is, like, below where you need to go, so you should be, I guess, squatting constantly and just trying to, like, figure out what's below you because it's too zoomed in or too cropped, and you're just like, I just wish I could see more of the screen.
It feels very much like a Sega game. Like, I kind of remember the Jurassic Park games feeling very much like this. Some of the X-Men games, Sonic. It just kind of felt like they were working with something bigger than they understood, and their level were always a little off. And that's really what I feel here, where they just slapped a bunch of paint and stickers and had their graphics that kind of looked like Jungle Book, and they just like threw together levels without ever thinking about like asking simple questions like, hey, is this fun?
Yeah, well, and I think even just maneuvering in Aladdin versus this, everything's trying to kill you in this constantly.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a pain because it's hard to see, and it's just a lot going on, and there's very little like safe space for you to kind of learn the mechanics, whereas Aladdin gives you those chances to does the Capcom thing, you know. We'll show you something in a safe space, then we'll give it to you with one piece of danger and then two pieces of danger. It's
and like all gaming, there's good 3D platform, or there's good 3D level design, there's bad 3D level design, there's good 2D level design and gameplay, much like Aladdin, and then there's bad 2D level design, which is Jungle Book, because lots of these levels, like I can't tell you anything about them at all, right? Like level 3, destroy Caw. I think you're in the Great Tree for a while, and then you fight Caw, and he like has like sonic attacks and a tail, and you just throw bananas or melons in his face, but like it looks kind of like the movie. But that's about it. Like, I can't tell you anything specific or any tricks or traps because it's all just random nonsense.
Oh, yeah. And later on, we'll get to it. There's just other random, like, monkeys and stuff that just seem super out of left field. It's like, this does not even feel like it's the same movie. It just feels like a jungle video game starring Mowgli.
Yeah.
So.
And like I couldn't tell you the plot of the Jungle Book. I'm not as familiar with that title as I say I'm with like Aladdin or a Lion King. So I'm like, maybe he's in a jungle and like maybe he goes to a tree. And I'm like, okay, I'll give him that. So the next one is Dawn Patrol / Tree Village. Well, I don't think he goes to a tree village. So already we're just making stuff up. There's snakes. There's the swinging traps. While swinging on branches, you explore a jungle village. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, it's like, isn't he supposed to live by himself? And this, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
okay. Sure. And then like level 5. All right. By the river / parrot ride. You ride a parrot while shooting bananas, which is fun. Different, right? But there is a lot of platforming, which isn't great. So that's a shame. But like, again, I don't think Mowgli rode parrots. Why are we riding parrots in this game?
Yeah. And I mean, with Aladdin, we kind of were like, we never go into the lamp in Aladdin, but at least there was a lamp in Aladdin.
Sure, great, perfect.
Is there a parrot in the Jungle Book?
I don't have much to offer. Like, I'm not saying like you're missing the key essential, but like you could have done something fun, right? Like, what if I don't know?
Yeah, I'd just make it more of like a fun experience because there's lots of songs in this, so it's like I mean, you could have made it more rhythm gamey, more mini gamey.
You hang out with Baloo and you have to like travel on Blue as he floats down a river and help him, and then he gets like stuck in pools and you have to like solve a trap, and then the water flows and you can jump on him and like go on his belly. There, look, that was something in a movie. No, just nonsense. But remember that one time Mowgli did go down a water slide during the Bare Necessity song? That might have happened because level 6 is the waterfall. It's there's like water, and then there's this really awful part where there's a waterfall with logs coming down at different speeds, and you have to platform up the logs that are descending, and it's awful. Like, I don't know what hell looks like, but it might just be this.
I see. Now, is that the Lion King? Because there's also a horrific Lion King jumping section.
Oh, wait.
The waterfall.
Oh, is that the Lion King?
I think that's the Lion King, but that's just still it's so rough.
It might be in both games. I don't know. Sure, why not?
Yeah, it could be, because honestly, it's like I'm kind of drawing a blank spot when it comes to a lot of this, because I was like, I feel like the Jungle Book's just so bland and forgettable, but it's just like also kind of excruciatingly frustrating. It's like,
and there's like nothing to do. It's just like different colors and stuff. Right? Okay, well, like the next one. Okay, level 7, cool. King Louie. You explore the ruins of an ancient monkey kingdom, and then King Louie comes out. He skips. And you throw bananas at him, and then he jumps sometimes and. He swings, and you just run away, and then eventually runs away. And then the ruins fall. That's the next level, level 8. Ruins fall. You kind of... rocks fall. Platforms fall. And then at some point, King Louie shows up, and you fight him for a second time.
Yeah. This also has the one with the monkeys that randomly, like, slap the ground. And then they, like, that's how you progress, but you have to... There's like, it's really awkward the way you have to do it, because at some points he is invincible. Sometimes you're supposed to jump on him. Sometimes you're supposed to just like let him spaz out for a second. And it's like, I don't understand the timing of this, like, kind of mini boss-ish section. It just kind of exists. And I'm like, this could have been done better.
Oh, 100%. Like, this whole game's just a mess. Absolutely a mess. Like, I couldn't tell you. At least in Aladdin, I could kind of, if I had to, just sketch out what a level was like. I'm like, oh, we walk this way, and then we climb up this tower, and then I kind of think we walk back, and then we're like definitely headed to the right more. I could not tell you any direction where we're going, and I'm like, sometimes you're just lost, and then you walk around for a bit, and you're not lost. Sure.
Yeah, and I think, like, there could be some cool sets.
Yeah.
Like the Jungle at Night, or, like, King Louis's Palace. But it's like, everything is so forgettable and just same looking, whereas Aladdin, all the levels kind of are very distinctive, and I think that stands out too, so it's easy to kind of like even recognize where you're trying to go. Whereas I think that's the problem with a lot of this game is sometimes I don't know what to go because everything looks the same. Is this the same exact spot as it was?
It's just cheaply made, right? I think when you have a bunch of
copy and paste,
cheap assets, and you just copy and paste, and you're just like, whatever. We just have to get these levels done. They don't have to be good. They just have to be long, so kids will waste time playing them. Awesome, cool. Level 9 is Jungle by Dusk or Sunset. It's kind of like the Great Tree, except the sky is red, and it literally might be the same level as the Great Tree. I couldn't tell you.
I almost guarantee it was, because I swear there's ledges in this game where, like, I've seen this ledge before.
So then, like, level,
I know this tree branch.
So by that logic, then Jungle by Night, we're fighting through the jungle, so it's might be the first level of the game, except it's dark. It looks beautiful. I actually like the color palette they chose. It's nice, but that's what it's. And you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, I get if this is trying to put the sense that, like, you have to be in the rooftops because of Shere Khan is hunting you, and you need to, like, stay in the treetops to avoid him. But there's no, like, stakes, nothing set up, so you're just running through the trees at night.
I just don't. I don't know. And, like, maybe that's the point of the Jungle Book is he, like, goes see King Louis to get Shere Khan's weakness. And he's like, well, he hates fire. You have fire because man has fire. Do you have fire? And, like, maybe and then you just, like, go back through the tree to the jungle.
Well, he's trying to find his place to live. And at one point, he thinks that he will be happy with, like, Baloo. And then he actually gets kidnapped by King Louis, and then King Louis's like, you're a man, you know fire, like, is Shere Khan's weakness, and you teach me this because I want to be like you. And then there's a whole song and dance number, everything falls down, and then he goes back to hanging out with Baloo, and Bagheera's like, we really need to get you not here because Shere Khan wants to eat you and says if he finds you, he is going to eat you.
That may or may not be the plot of the movie. I can't tell. So level 11, though, is the wasteland. So now you're in a kind of a scary wasteland. There's some platforming on vulture wings and clouds. The boss here is Shere Khan. So the tiger is defeated by throwing projectiles at him while avoiding lightning and his sonic attacks. Cool.
Yeah. This is like the lightning striking the dry grassy fields. Sort of things lighting on fire. So very cool. Like, I like this. Yeah. This is a fun level. It's a shame that this is the last level because you're like, this is the best level in the game.
It looks cool. Looks neat. Looks different. They maybe spent some time on it. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Your boss isn't...
Even as a boss, it's not just jump over.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, you put some time in this. Okay, cool. So you maybe spent, like, a little bit on King Louis, a little bit here, probably Caw, and everything else was just thrown together. Good job, Eurocom, or whatever you're called. Ending. Mowgli heads to a man village and thinks he can make one swell bear. All right, we don't talk about that game anymore. What about Lion King? Third game on today's docket. Our final treat for you all. Can't you tell we're itching to beat this game?
Yeah, well, there's a couple things I want to talk about this one. But,
yeah, this one has some more meat and potatoes. The other one was bland and poorly made. This one, maybe it's good, though. So this is The Lion King for the Super Nintendo. It was developed by wait a second. Westwood Studio, Disney Software. What other games do you think they made?
I bet you it's in the development details.
Let's just scan there. Oh, yeah. No. If not, I have it open on another page. Maybe after development details we'll talk about it. It sold 1.27 million, which ranks 40th all time. It sold more than Mega Man X. What is wrong with everyone? God damn you simps for Disney. Release date was 1994. We can't be more specific than just all of 1994. Cool, awesome. How long Pete has the game at 2 hours? That might take longer. This game's kind of tough. Price of release was $50. On eBay, you can get a copy of this game for $30 to $80. That's as much as a regular eShop game would cost today, unless it's $25 on sale. Obviously, where to play it, the OG carts or this game. Wayback Machine. So top selling. We're just going to look at the top selling from movies and video games from 1994. All right. So top movies from 1994 were Lion King. What? Forrest Gump, True Lies, The Santa Claus, and The Flintstones.
Yep. Not garbage here. We can just skip this.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. No, this is the best. Who doesn't love 94? So, good one. I mean, I think the only one that you're sort of upset with is if you have to watch Tim Allen's Santa Claus, and that's not terrible.
The Flintstones also is pretty horrible, so it looks cool.
You know what? You get some rock puns in there though.
Yeah, but then there's just this random story about embezzlement that appears in the last 10 minutes of the film, and you're like, why was this here?
Well, because they had the guy from Twin Peaks.
Okay, cool. Kyle MacLachlan, you just have to do this investment plot. Oh, okay, awesome. Top video games. So the best-selling video games from 1994 were Donkey Kong Country, Street Fighter 2, Final Fantasy VI, Mortal Kombat 2, and NBA Jam.
Yeah. Bunch of stinkers for sure. Yeah, holy moly. What a time to be alive in 94, eh? If you have all the money, you can just spend it.
I mean, 94 is supposed to be one of the best years for video games ever, right? There's also the inclusion of Metroid or something, Super Metroid, and there's another unheralded game that's not included just in that list. You'd be like, oh, that's a very, very good year for video games. So yeah, all right.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Sometimes everything just strikes at one. So why complain?
Cool. All right. So let's look now we know what the pop cultural landscape looked like, and specifically the year 1994. Let's look at the development details. Westwood Studios was another smaller studio. They were purchased by EA in 1998. Some of their notable titles include Eye of the Beholder, Dune 2, Command and Conquest, and Pac-Mania. All right. See, I didn't have to read that list anyways. Good job, me. The sprites and background were drawn by Disney animators at Walt Disney Feature Animation, and the music was adapted from songs and orchestrations in the film soundtrack. Game designer Lewis Castle revealed that 2 levels, Hakuna Matata and Be Prepared, were adapted from scenes that were scrapped from the final movie. Westwood Studios developed the game for the Super Nintendo, Genesis, and Amiga. Other conversions were outsourced to different studios. The NES and Game Boy versions were developed by Dark Technologies. The game had a marketing budget of $8 million from a total budget of $20 million.
Jeez, that's a lot of money to throw at this game. But I guess when you got the biggest box office movie on your hands, you throw cash at the wall and you see how much money comes back.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, you're like, okay, we're on the best-selling system. It's 94. Everyone loves Super Nintendo, and we got the best movies, so it's easy. Controls.
Yeah.
Guess what? You move around and A jumps. Wow. When you're a little guy, you use a little roar, and it's just kind of cute. But when you're older, it's a more powerful roar, and it scares people. Also, older Simba swipes, and he can roll with cats, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah. The animators definitely went hard on the grappling animations, and that stuff really stands out. Soundtracks really rocking. I don't usually listen to soundtracks, but I had to turn it on for a little bit just to see how is this chiptune version of the soundtrack. And you're like, it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
There's even just a whole little soundtrack section. And at one point I was on vacation when I was playing this, and I just chilled the one day and just sat and listened to all the little songs and played them on there. So yeah, they hold up. They're good.
Yeah. And it's nice that the collection just gives you all that stuff. So
yeah.
Don't go searching for it.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to throw on a shelf if you're a fan of older games and you just want to kind of have these tangible things to look at, right? Rather than just a YouTube playlist. So first memories of this game. I don't think I played this game before. I may have been a bit too old for The Lion King. I don't remember it just being a big hit in our family. I'm pretty sure we got it on VHS one night and we watched it. It was good. Like, don't get me wrong, it was good, and we knew the songs, but like, I don't know, I didn't have any friends that played the game, and I just didn't really have a desire to play it. And maybe my cousin had it at one point, and I was like, my life isn't long enough to play this game. Sorry, cousin. Do you have any first memories?
Yeah, no. I've always known it's kind of existed, but I never remember picking up or playing it because it's like Disney game. I'd rather play something else.
Give me Rocky and Pocky.
Or that there's a Goof Troop game.
That's good. That's a good one.
That one always caught my eye.
Yeah.
I was like, this or Goof Troop? I'd go Goof Troop. You know,
Goof Troop's better. Although it's co-op, so we should definitely try and play it together at some point. It only takes a couple hours, so that'd be a different show. But also not bad. All right, cool. So no first memory. Story. You were born prince of all the sun, of all the places that sun touches. I don't know, whatever he says in the show. Hopefully your uncle doesn't kill your dad and try to murder you.
Yeah, or you'll find yourself in the story of Hamlet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So level notes of this game. The menu, it's a picture of Pride Rock. Wow. Level 1 is the Pride Lands. You do some platforming on some rocks, over some grass, and you collect beetles. The boss here is a hyena. You wait for it to jump twice, and then you jump on its back. And that's level 1 of the Lion King. Good.
Yep. Teaches you the mechanics, gives you a chance to kind of go at it, because there's a couple swinging spots.
Yep.
A couple edges. We have to learn how to actually like kind of line yourself up so you actually grab onto it, because you're going to be holding onto those ledges a lot, kids. Also, there's a beetle in this one that increases your roar meter, so you definitely want to make sure you get that, or you'll be kicking yourself for having.
Oh no.
Yeah.
This isn't a sale situation again, is it? I don't think it is. This isn't terrible. I don't really understand the meters. There's just always like random things, and sometimes I grab a beetle and like my full meter disappears, and I'm like, is that good or bad? Did I change?
That's bad. That's a bad one.
Did I change beetles? I don't.
No. But I think the bad beetles are like blue beetles.
But I should. So I shouldn't be collecting these blue beetles that are just chilling.
Yeah. So they keep hurting you, but all the hurt does, it just takes away your roar meter. It kind of acts as your health meter.
You can't die. You just don't have a roar.
Yeah, I think so for that first little bit.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, I didn't spend too much time or struggle enough to have to know how life worked in this game. So level 2 is Can't Wait to Be King. Very colorful level. And you have to platform on some elephants, rhinos, and giraffes. There are some puzzles here. You have to change like monkeys, and you have to jump on rhinos, and they fling you around. And then there's a section where you ride an ostrich, and you have to duck and jump over stuff. Save states help. Kind of confusing. And the platforming, it's not really it's not really apparent where in the hippo you can jump sometimes. Sometimes you just fall into the water, and you're like, how was that not his head?
Yeah. Well, there's also times where so the giraffes have like a set timer before they'll kick their head back. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you're just tumbling and stuff because you're just trying to line up your next jump. Because Simba has it's not like a double jump, but it's kind of like a stumble after his jumps or something, I feel like. And it just you can't quickly jump again. So there's kind of like this weird delay or whatever, and it throws me off. And when you're trying to jump on the hippo's swinging tails, you have to aim at the tip of the tail.
Yeah.
Because if you add at the middle of it, you're just going to fall through it. And there's this weird line between going too far over and not. And yeah, it takes a little bit getting used to, for sure.
Oh yeah, no, I struggled.
I died lots, but I didn't actually need the health meter. Let's just say
I
died a lot from falling into stuff.
Yep, good old save states. Rewind would have been nice. Game. Next time you do this, rewind would be phenomenal.
That would be a dream. Yeah. Just hold like a trigger back, roll, rewind. Oh, thank goodness.
All right, level 3 is the Elephant Graveyard. To explore a pretty movie-accurate elephant graveyard. There are a lot of hyenas. They're just basically basic enemies now. I know they were the boss in level 1, but now you just fight 1 or 2 at a time. They're not that tricky. They kind of suck. Good times.
Yeah. A spot where some hot water comes spouting out, and you have to quickly go as fast as you can. So hopefully you've been practicing your jumps.
Oh, you will. Level 4, though, you don't have to. Well, you kind of have to jump, but you don't have to worry about much else. Is a stampede. So you have to run away from a stampede of buffaloes. Maybe they're wildebeests. You have to avoid running avoid running from the foreground, and no. You have to avoid rocks that come at you from the foreground. So you'll be like an indicator, and there'll be like a rock you have to jump over, and bisons from behind you. So maybe they're buffaloes, bisons, or wildebeests. I don't know what the difference is.
Neither do I.
Okay.
I would say wildebeests.
Super.
Or water buffaloes.
Yeah.
So I think both are acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty fun level. I mean, all these games have had kind of a different, like, bullet hell
section. Yeah, this is kind of like
yeah.
I don't even know how to describe this. You're on a single train and you're just running, and then they kind of use, I don't know, what's it called? Sprite sizes to indicate if it's coming towards you or in front of you. It's kind of a weird, like...
Yeah, Mode 7 at its finest.
Yeah, weird, like, arcade jumpy platformer. It almost feels like a Game & Watch game at this point. But that's a Stampede. And I was like, yeah, it's neat. It's different. Yeah.
Yeah, nice variety.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Level 5 is Simba's Exile. So you have to do some tough platforming while avoiding falling rock. Okay. Cool.
Yep. Kind of a sad moment. Because that was also at the end of the Stampede, you get to see a spot of like Scar, and he sends the hyenas after you, and then you kind of come into the Simba's Exile. It's like, and don't come back or something, and it's pretty well done.
Yeah.
So
nice. Yeah, it's not terrible. It kind of works, and like they do some pretty good visual storytelling. So I think at the end of Elephant Graveyard, when you escape, it like pans up and Scar's been watching the whole time, right? So it does allude to kind of this greater villain throughout the game, which I was like, okay, all right, I get it. I know the story from the movie, right? But you're like kind of telling me through like vague text and a couple little cutscenes. Good.
Yeah, much better than Jungle Book, which is just disjointed. So.
Oh, yeah. No, it's not good. Not good at all. Then we're on to Akuna Matata, level 6. So you're now platforming around a grassy waterfall cliff area. There are some terrible jumps on logs and a waterfall section. Here it is. It wasn't in Jungle Book after all. It was terrible. Terrible. And then just like in the movie, you fight an ape at the end of this area, and once defeated, he kind of sinks the cliffs into the ground, surely killing our hero. Cool.
Yeah. I hated that waterfall section. It like nothing like jumping and feeling like you're moving like a millimeter of progress at a time. It's horrific.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. But hopefully you guys have had your fill of little baby cat Simba, because now we're big Simba. Hooray! Level 7, Simba's Destiny. Now you're grown up. It's nighttime, and you must fight panthers. You can swing at vines and roll on rocks. And at the end of the level, you see a cloud that looks like your dad.
Yeah, and you get Rafiki shows up, and he like clears the section after you. Kind of have just like an onslaught of bloody. Feels like sometimes just fighting like what seems like 10 or 12 of these stupid leopards that just like will not leave you alone. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a pain.
There's so many of these stupid leopards. And yeah, it's just continuous. And it's not like you build up your strength meter, so you always have to do like 5 swipes per... Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's good times.
Good times. All right. So then level 8, be prepared. So as an adult Simba, you have to fight around a dark jungle. Or you don't fight around a dark jungle, but rather a red elephant graveyard with hyenas. Cool.
Yeah. I feel like this is not a bad section because you end up just rocking these hyenas. Like they are... no match for big old Simba.
No, I mean, in terms of level, so Jungle Book, what would we had, like maybe 2 parts of the game that, like the Wasteland was okay, and maybe the King Louie fight, maybe the Kaw fight, but the rest of it was absolutely just terrible, awful, horrendous. I don't know if there's been a terrible part of this game yet. Maybe Simba's Exile?
Yeah. And maybe some parts of the first time you go through the elephant graveyard.
Yeah, and I don't like level 9. So Simba's Return. So now adult Simba, you fight hyenas, and you have to kind of go through a very same-looking cave maze area. So you just, like, there's entrances, there's exits. You can't tell what anything is. Like, good luck trying to make a map of this area. It sucks. It's terrible. So, like, I didn't like that one, and there was one of the exiles or maybe graveyards I didn't love. But other than that, that's pretty good. Like, you're getting 7 of the 9 levels that are top notch in this game, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good overall, actually. Like, I'm not great by not saying it's great, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, it's decent.
Cool. And then finally, level 10 is Pride Rocks. Now you're at your old home. You have to fight your uncle's army of hyenas, but also your uncle. So 3 times you have to fight him. You kind of scratch, scar to hurt him, and you kind of roll him when he's damaged enough. And after each mini encounter, he flees. You'll be asked to do some platforming. And then in the final section, you have to kind of get him towards the end of a cliff so you can roll him off the cliff, just like in the movie, and win. Cool.
Yeah. Pretty neat the way they do it. I think that the going on 3 times is a bit excessive, but I get them trying to ramp it up. I think 2 would have been plenty, but
yeah, probably.
What do I know?
Probably. Cool. So that ends that. So the ending. So Scar being dead causes the rain to fall. This leads to the grasslands being full of nutrients, so other animals come back. Wow. And that's the end of that game. Cool. Current thoughts. So 3 games, 3 current thoughts. Aladdin. Let's work backwards. Let's talk about something good at the end. So Lion King. I told the story. Okay, cool. Visually, it was solid. I wonder if that's why people said this game was so good. Oh, okay. So it's kind of similar to like the Banjo-Kazooie. So Lion King, Super Nintendo-wise, looks pretty solid. Game mechanics, I don't know. Like they're okay. There's a couple that are just rough. Like Tyson mentioned the hippo's tails, trying to grab those guys. Why? Why couldn't I like slide down the whole tail? You know, it's just so stupid little things. Maybe the worst game on the list? Wow. Huh. Semi-brutal platform challenges, poor boring combat, not a lot of fun. I did not like this when I wrote this.
Yeah, well, I can see that because it's boring. That's the worst thing that this thing does. Is it's not very exciting.
I guess where like the Jungle Book was like, I don't know where to go. This game was just the opposite. It was like, I know where to go. I don't want to fight more leopards. Or I don't want to fight more panthers.
Yeah, some more, or have to like roll into those stupid porcupines from the opposite way, or roar and stun them and then roll into them. It's just like, I don't want to do these things. You're just making it boring and frustrating. It's not hard. It's just boring. And I think, I like The Lion King. That one's my second favorite. I think it does the storytelling the best. The actual game mechanics may not be as tight as Aladdin.
Oh, not by any means. Like this is yeah.
Oh my goodness.
If you were to rank these games, this is actually my 3rd game, and Jungle Book's my 4th game. And Aladdin is the number 1 game, but it's so much ahead of the other 2. I had to actually create a divide between 3 and 1 because that's how much better I think Aladdin is.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It is night and day difference. Like Capcom is just much better than these randos making these games, and licensing games are tough because you have a very like kind of strict thing you need to sort of stick to. But Aladdin was at least done with, you could tell the passion and people cared, whereas like I think Jungle Book and The Lion King is just like people watch the movies and we're like, okay, let's get to making a movie or let's get to making a game, and just wasn't the greatest. Because honestly, there's times of The Lion King where it's like the stupid jumping platform on an ostrich. I could see where a million like kids would probably just stop playing this game after that section because it's just frustrating.
It is frustrating.
Luckily, we have save states, but imagine having to just redo everything constantly because you didn't hold and then jump again over the stupid one branch section. You just double tapped.
Yeah, you'd be very familiar with the beginning of this game. Jungle Book, however, seemed cheap. The combat wasn't great. The platforming was like borderline okay. Overall, not the best game. Seemed really random in level design. Didn't really tell the story of the movie. It's definitely the worst game. I don't know why I was so hard on The Lion King. I think it's because I played The Lion King worst, and I just knew it was worse than Aladdin, so I think I was a little more critical on it. Whereas the Jungle Book kind of got around it because it was like the 3rd or the 2nd one I experienced. But yeah,
that's fair.
Jungle Book was bad.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Minus kind of like some of the combat, it's totally meh.
Yeah.
I even with save states, I was like, ugh, shoot me. I don't want to keep doing this, but here I go.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Okay, cool. And then finally, Aladdin. So Aladdin was the first game that we did talk about. A very solid game. It feels like it was made by Capcom. Some of the levels could have been like sections in Mega Man games, right? Like it holds up there. It's that top tier. Would love to have had the sail. I don't know really so much about the pyramid and the genie lamp levels. I guess they kind of work, kind of, sort of. Best of the games that we played today. And Aladdin, overall, not horrendous. It's always going to be linked to these two games, unfortunately, so our rankings tomorrow might be a little bit more interesting, but go from there. Cool. Yourself, final current thoughts on Aladdin?
Definitely best of the three. I like it. I think it's pretty solid. Yeah, just echo your sentiments. Capcom knows what they're doing. A few random sections like why is this included, but I'd rather have some random why is this included but feels good and the gameplay's alright than recognizing the background and being like
100%.
Shoot me.
When I first was critical, I was like, these levels are stupid. I'm like, well, it could be a lot worse. The whole game could be stupid. So thanks, Aladdin. Thank you. All right, so about a final, are you buying it? And then we're going to get out of here and play, I guess we're doing a fun, weird game at the end here. So there was a theory that the turkey legs at Disney parks, because they were so giant, they weren't actually turkeys. They were emus. Ew, gross. Nope. Turns out that people looked into it. They were, in fact, turkeys. They're just sad, genetically modified turkeys. So, there you go.
Yeah, wow. Who would have figured that humans modified their food?
Yeah. All right, so now, guys, we're at cultural significance. That's the end section of this podcast. In this section, we look at game design, the lore inspirations, turning points, interesting stories, talk how this game relates, give other examples, and tie it all back together in the end. I was going to write up a thing on game studios and how they sold out bigger IP licenses to smaller studios to try and make a profit. This is why we have so many licensed games that just feel cheap. Back in my day, that could actually be a segment idea where we just kind of be old men and yell at kids. That'd be fun. You would rent a game from a video store. You'd have to pick one based on the box art. So often you would pick ones based on IPs you recognized, like Tiny Toons. Then you would take it home and play it. And it was hard and maybe fun, but mostly hard. And it was kind of like The Thing, but then there was like a random monster book that attacked you. Was that in Tiny Toons? I think I forgot the episode where the monster book just attacked Buster and killed him. I must have missed that one. So I guess that could have led into like a worse licensed games list or something. But I had some fun today. I figured we could use all of the laughs and we could all use a laugh and play a game. So instead of talking about the video game history or complaining about cheaply made games, we're going to do a Disney afternoon draft. We're each going to take control of two teams. The draft order will be randomized, so I've already done that. We will then have to fill out a roster based on the characters, villains, vehicles that populate the Disney afternoon. Afterwards, each team will then be used in a pitch for a video game, maybe a TV show, maybe a movie, maybe it's miscellaneous. So that's what we're doing today. So me and Tyson are both drafting a team. We have our draft order. We have all our shows that we can choose from, and we have categories. So you have to choose 5 categories, but we're not set in stone. Essentially, we're going to do 5 rounds per team. So we want to look at heroes, sidekicks, villains, vehicles, / bases maybe there's a cool base somewhere, and then a wild card. So a wild card can be anything. I think you can only use 1 wild card per term, but you could do like heroes. That's just if you want to be a little more creative. All right, and the shows we're working on. So from the Disney Afternoon Collection, we have The Adventures of the Gummy Bears, DuckTales, Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop, Bonkers, Aladdin, Gargoyles, The Schnookum and Meat Funny Cartoon Show, Lion King, Quack Pack, Mighty Ducks, 101 Dalmatians, and Hercules. So, oh boy, out of all of those, we can draft ourselves some type of roster, and then we can create something. So, Tyson, are you happy to play this fun game?
I am. I got a couple ideas. I am anxious, depending on how you take yours, because you might steal all my draft picks.
All right.
Then I got to go to some backups.
I only have 2 ideas, so if you steal any of mine, I literally have no backup plan. So I did not even.
If we steal each other's ideas, it's just hilarious. We'll pick of all these things, we pick the same ones.
Yeah.
So
all right,
let's go.
So according to the draft order, Mick 1 goes first. So the first pick off the board, I'm going to take out of all my options. I'm going to take my hero first because I think I need this for this specific game, and I'm going to take my hero, Goliath.
You son of a bitch. Okay. Nope, good one. Good pick.
Yeah,
good
thanks,
pick. He
thanks.
was my number one.
Yeah, I figured if he didn't go off the board right away, because I was like, he seems like he's the strongest out there. I couldn't do one of mine without him, so I definitely did that. So Tyson A is now up. So Tyson A with pick 2. Would you like?
I gotta look up one of the names because I always forget the names.
It's Schnookums.
No, it is where the heck is the? It's always I was gonna pick the kid of the gummy bears, but I can never find his bloody name. Is it like Cubby Bear as my sidekick?
Okay, so you want Cubby Bear.
Sidekick.
Cubby Bear. Okay, all right, that's your sidekick choice. All right,
Yep.
Mick B. So that's the second team. He's picking third. He is going to take. I really should have spent more time with this one. I came up with an idea and then I kind of forgot halfway through. I'm going to take Maximilian Goof. So Max from Goof Troop.
Oh, okay. He's your sidekick?
No, he is my hero.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're going down this road.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so Tyson 2, so that's the name of this team. Picks fourth, but you get 2 picks.
Okay. Wait, do I have 2 teams?
Yeah, you're picking 2 teams because you have to have 2 completely different entities.
Okay.
So Tyson A and Tyson 2.
Let's go with Darkwing Duck.
All right, Darkwing. And is that your hero?
That's my hero.
All right,
That's my hero.
So your Tyson 2, what is your second pick?
For my villain. Oh no, is this the same team?
Yes.
Shoot. Okay. Let's go with. You know what? Screw it. Let's do Xanatos as my villain here.
Xanatos. All right. So that was I can't think of his name. He's the bad guy from Gargoyles. He's like the guy.
Yeah.
His voice is done by
Jonathan Franks.
Jonathan Franks. All right. So now Mick B is going to take his. So his first pick here was Maximilian Goof. Mick B is going to go with PJ, Pete Jr. as sidekick.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I am back on my hero or my team,
No, Tyson A.
Tyson A.
Why, I don't know why this is so hard to keep organized.
Because I should have built my notes for this. Okay, so I don't have a hero. I got Cubby on my team.
Yep.
Need a villain. Let's go with Jafar from the Aladdin cartoon.
Jafar. All right, that's a good one. That's a good villain. All right, so Mick 1, he went with the Goliath, first overall pick. He's gonna do I think I'm gonna use my wild card on this one, and I'm gonna get Hercules.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent choice.
All right.
Excellent choice.
And then I want a villain, so I'm gonna go a little off the board here. I'm gonna take Scrooge McDuck as my villain.
Ooh. Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So that is Mick 1 consists of Goliath, Hercules, and Scrooge currently. I do not have a sidekick or a vehicle/base in that. Could be anything. So Tyson A. So Tyson has Cubby Bear and Jafar. So what is your third pick for Tyson A?
Okay, so my hero is gonna be Brooklyn from Gargoyles.
Okay.
I guess we're going hard on Gargoyles this time.
Oh yeah, no, we are.
It's okay.
Okay. Shoot. I think I need something else. I need some flair for this one. I had such a good idea, and then I just literally kind of gave up on it. So.
Oh, I know. This is it's gone sideways because we actually did go the same route,
Okay.
which is amazing. So.
I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna do a vehicle. So I got Mick B has Maximilian Goof, PJ, and they're gonna drive around in Darkwing Duck's bike. So the
Sick.
Darkwing cycle.
Okay. Which team am I drafting?
So Tyson 2
is on 2.
Yeah, so he has Darkwing and you have Xanatos.
Xanatos. Yeah. No sidekicks, no nothing. Let's do. Sorry, 1 sec. Let me look up some. Yeah, I need a sidekick. Let's do with Dewey. Let's do Dewey from Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
All right, Dewey.
And DuckTales.
Okay, all right. You get 2 picks here because that's the swing pick. So what's your first pick of the 4th round?
Okay, then I am also gonna go with. Let's do Louie from my wild card.
All right. Louie. All right, so coming back to Mick B, so we've got Maximilian, PJ, Darkwing Cycle. I think I'm going to stick with Tyson's choice. We're going to have a run on Tails or Ducktail characters here, because I'm going to take Webby as my Webby.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
As my fourth, and she is my... I guess she's a wild card? Yeah, sure. All right. Wild card.
Okay.
So Tyson A is going. He's got Cubby Bear, Jafar, and Brooklyn. So looks like you still need maybe a base or a vehicle or a wild card.
Yeah, I got this one. This one is going to be my wild card. It's going to be Genie.
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
Genie!
Son of a... Oh, I should have taken him earlier. Why was I taking the Darkwing Cycle?
I don't know. We threw each other off. After we'll do the draft, we'll give a quick spin of what we were thinking. What was our first pick? So
then,
do I get to pick my vehicle?
No. So then, Mick 1, he has to go for 3 or 2 to finish his last pick, round 4, first pick at round 5. So as a vehicle / base, I'm going to go with Shere Khan's Flying Fortress from
that's good.
Tailspin. So Shere Khan's base. All right. And then with that one, I think I need a sidekick. So for sidekicks, I'm going to go with... I think we'll go with Aladdin.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Seems like a pretty solid sidekick to have, right? No. Let's go with a Boo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're not wrong with having Aladdin as a sidekick, but Abu's always a solid choice. Or even going Carpet. Carpet, might be a solid vehicle.
Maybe I'll go with Iago. All right, I'm changing again. I'm going with Iago. All right, Tyson. So Team B. So Tyson A has Cubby Bear, Jafar, Brooklyn, and Genie. So I believe you need maybe a vehicle?
Yep. And, I was thinking base. I'm going to take Sultan's base.
Okay, Sultan.
The Sultan's Palace.
Okay, Sultan's Palace. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Mick B, he's got Maximilian, PJ, the Darkwing Cycle, Webby. What it needs, though, is a villain. So its villain is going to be... I need someone supernatural. So let's do Puck. Puck from Gargoyles. I don't know.
Okay.
He's like a fairy. All you need to know is he has magic somehow. So Puck from... And I think he's played he's like the blonde assistant, but he's like a magical fairy. So go with Puck. All right?
Yeah.
And then finally, Tyson Team 2 with Darkwing, Xanatos, Hugh or Dewey, Louie. Now you just need your last pick there.
We're gonna go with Bonkers Police Station.
Oh, that's a good one.
So
Bonkers.
it's gonna be set in the Bonkers world.
Okay, all right, that's solid. So now we have our 2 teams with what we've done. What is your pitch for your 2 teams? So you want me to start, and we'll go down the list.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So what I've got so far is I've got a classic arcade fighter. It's called Goliath versus Hercules. So what you do is you pick the hero, who's obviously Goliath, and you go to fight your rival in this big carnival or this big brawl. It's like this big world, and you fight. So it's a fight 'em up. So he fights Hercules. Now occasionally it's set in this flying base, and it's monetized, and it's kind of like pro wrestling in a sense. There's big characters and they battle. And before you do any inputs, Iago always comes on screen and says, "Hey, Goliath, did you know that pressing the punch button throws punches, and you can do different combinations by pressing different ways?" So that's really important that I have a really annoying sidekick in this game, right?
Nice.
And then, if you get enough show points, so I don't know if it's you just beat up the scrubs enough, or you do enough things, you become so popular, the evil owner of this fighting ring, Scrooge McDuck, sometimes comes out in a Mr. McMahon character, and sometimes you fight him. And if you beat him as Goliath, you get your freedom. So it's an old school arcade beat 'em up.
But set in a wrestling world.
Yeah, it's kind of like wrestling. So you're if you get popular enough, you can escape your shackles.
Got you. Okay. Okay. I'm feeling it. Interesting.
All right. And maybe there's a spin-off where we have a whole Disney afternoon brawl, Smash Brothers scenario, right? So anything. So Tyson, what is Tyson A? So that is a team of Cubby Bear, Jafar, Brooklyn, Genie, and Sultan's Palace. What are you pitching here?
Well, I'm kind of going with stuff I just threw at the wall. No, Aladdin, the TV show, but mixed with the with Brooklyn. So the Gargoyles universe and the Gummy Bear universe characters.
Okay.
Genie's gonna take. It's kind of gonna be like Sliders.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Where they don't quite know what universe they're gonna be in. So sometimes they could be in a Gummy Bear episode, and there's gonna be times where they could be in like the Gargoyles universe. So people like Puck and from Gargoyles will show up, and what's the villain of Gummy Bears? Like Sir Ivehorn or something.
Sure. I know nothing about Gummy Bears outside of the theme song. So.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So it's going to be like they're both medieval kind of things,
Okay.
but they'll be like modern when they're So it'll be like Sliders, but with
Disney.
Brooklyn, Cubby, and Aladdin.
Cool.
And Genie. So
Cool.
yeah.
That's not bad. All right. Okay. So my second. So Mick B. So I got Maximilian Goof, PJ, Webby. They ride on the Dark Cycle, and Puck's the bad guy. Well, we're going to start a children's anthology book series called Goof Bumps. Where we have a trio of heroes, Max, Pete, and Webby, going around, and Puck like plays tricks in the universe. Like one day, guess what? The sponges under the sink will be alive. Whoa, that sounds scary. And they'll have to solve these mysteries and crimes. In a very kid-friendly, like maybe 60 pages, probably written in a first draft, not very good. And every maybe chapter ends on a cliffhanger. So Goof Bumps.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. Sounds very. I can't wait for the haunted lamp.
Oh, scary lamp. All right. And then finally, what is Tyson 2? What did that team? So the team of Darkwing, Xanatos, Dewey, Louie, and the Bonkers Police Station. What is that show?
Okay, so it's going to be like Darkwing is teaming up with Dewey, Louie, and I'm sure Huey will show up from time to time. But it's all set in the Bonkers universe, so I'm thinking it's going to be like they're detectives.
Okay.
Xanatos is kind of obviously the big kingpin / crime boss, but it's all like the Bonkers world, so it's going to be very cartoony, almost like a
Who Framed Roger Rabbit or something.
Yeah, exactly. But starring Darkwing Duck.
Okay. All right.
And having Xanatos as the villain.
Shit. All right.
So
cool. Well, if you're a fan of the Rescue Rangers show, we might be getting a Darkwing. So maybe they need some ideas.
Hey, I'm just saying.
There's a pitch.
Just throw Xanatos in there. First thing.
That's what we need. Okay. Sweet. Cool. So with that wraps up our draft. It's a different idea, funner way of than just reading a list potentially. Is that what you're going for the whole time? You always wanted those 3 shows?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I'm also. I think we had a little fun with that one because we both were thinking gargoyles. I was gonna do gargoyles mixed with gummy bears.
Okay.
Where like the gummy bears would be the protectors during the day, and the gargoyles would have to do their thing at night. And yeah. Cool. Both set in medieval times. Shit going crazy.
Cool.
I'm like, yeah.
All right. So that was like your whole draft. Yeah. For myself, I kind of came up. I was like, I kind of want to do like a silly. Goof Bumps. I was like, once that popped in my head, I was like, well, that's just what I'm doing. So
that's the first team.
Yeah, I was like, and then I'll just create another one. So I'll like make a list that looks really shitty because during a draft, you're never going to take Maximilian and Goof Genie. Genie would have been a good one for that one, right? Because it could have like,
yeah.
But I could work with Puck because Puck's kind of a trickster. So.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh yeah, with this Gargoyle expanded universe we're apparently working on.
Yeah.
With 4 pitches all involving gargoyles somehow. So
yeah, and then the second one, I was like, who's the most Vince McMahon like of all the Disney afternoon characters? And I couldn't decide between Scrooge McDuck or like what's the evil Scottish version guy, Lockhart or something.
Oh yeah.
Maybe he's the bad guy. Anyways, so there you go. So that was our fun way of wrapping up these. Well, like really good, and then like 2 games that are I don't know, maybe not considered games. So.
Yeah. Well, like it's if you have some nostalgia with it, you probably can look past a few things. But yeah, it's Aladdin solid. Should have got its own show, but hopefully you enjoyed this fun.
Hey, sometimes we're surprised. Like I know when we did the last couple years ago, we did the Disney afternoon games. Like remember how great Tailspin was? That was a fun game. That was a great game. Like those are great experiences. Like when we played those Chippendales and Darkwing, so you never really know what you're getting till you get into them. These ones, ain't so special.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So with that, I think we say bye and see you guys. We're back in a game in a month. Like we got another X-Men in 2 weeks. Good times.
Yep.
Cool.
Should be fun.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.